What's good, you troglodytes and chuds? This is your man, TiVo, on a Monday morning. I do believe this is week 3, the beginning of week 3 of my shelter in place, quarantine, work from home. And yes, we are all going a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, you may say. This is kind of spur of the moment kind of thing. I don't know how many people we're going to get up in here, so hopefully we'll get some of you folks. What's up, the Wobbles? I remember on the last show we talked. We said that we're going to do something to see how we can, as a community, how to help out all our LCS, which is AKA local comic shops or just comic shops in general. And I got a list of comic shops that I want to talk about. Shout out to Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. How you doing, man? Victoria Pagic. Comic Crypt of Castle Hills. I am going to be doing the video you tagged me on, my top 50 comics. I did one earlier this year, which was, I will do this. I would do what Big Easy did, which was my top 50 raw comics, since my last top 50 list was predominantly all slab. So I'm going to go dig it in my long boxes. I'm going to see what I can find that are raw. My best top 50 raw. So thanks for the Payjack. Sorry, Victoria. Payjack. Manny Diaz, what's up? King of the Golden State, JLS Comics. So I want to talk about, I was talking to my friend, the Big To Do, really good friend of mine. He owns Comics, Tunes, and Toys in Tustin, and he's been pretty stressed out, man. He's got a full staff there. He's been abiding by the rules which have been mandated to Orange County and Los Angeles County. Not all shops have been doing this. They cease and desist pretty much everything. You can't do curbside pickups or anything, but some shops are still open. But Mike has been following the rules. He has a somewhat of a background in healthcare, so he understands the importance of social distancing so we can flatten out the curve, because right now, especially in Southern California, we are still on the uptick. If you look at the graph, for those who want to understand. By the way, I work in healthcare too. I work in IT healthcare. So I don't want to say I'm a specialist, but I work on the digital imaging side of it, radiology. I am a PACS administrator. I manage IT systems for radiology and cardiology. So I work with a bunch of doctors and nurses. So when I tell you that it's important to social distance, it is important to shelter in place, social distance, because we need to know where we're at to quarantine everybody. And what's the byproduct of this is, we have 500 hospitals that I support. Every hospital is filled to capacity right now, and all of our projects, everything has been pushed aside to all of our support to COVID-19. So essentially, what's going on is hospitals are typically, say, the size of them are mandated by the beds. So they say I'm a 50-bed hospital, 100-bed hospital, 500-bed hospitals. It can be 2 beds per room. So you can never go by the amount of rooms at a hospital, it's the amount of beds in a hospital. All of our beds are full right now. And what's happening is the importance of this to happen is we need to shelter in place so that the hospitals aren't overflowed for other things. Because now, guess what? If you have emergency heart surgery, any of those things, everything is impacted by all the COVID cases that are in there right now. COVID-19 is really impacting everywhere. So it's important that we kind of let the nurses and healthcare professionals do what they can do. I work with tons of doctors, nurses, technologists, everybody, friends of mine. And, these people are on the front lines and they're lacking the materials. So, and also all the elective things that are all been pushed back. So Lord forbid if you get any type of accident or that requires emergency surgery, because one of the complications may be if you may come in for a certain ailment and you may come out with COVID-19 because the whole hospitals are dedicated to it. So it's kind of odd right now. Shout out to Danny Lee. Everybody, 18 people. Hey, I'm glad you guys can join me. It's Monday, I think it's Monday. This is the 3rd week I've been working from home. By the way, for those who know me really well, know when I was really thick into YouTube, probably like 3 years ago, when I was doing like 2-3 videos a week, I worked from home for 5 years straight. So people know me. I'm used to working from home. I've worked from home 5 years straight. You know, tell what I haven't done, man. I have not worked from home without sports. That's what's driving me crazy. If I had sports in my life, man, it would make things so much easier. So I'm sorry to get on a tangent here. So before I talk about what the Comic Tunes and Toys is doing, I'm going to go, and for those who left comments on the last video that we did, I want to give you guys a shout out, and I want to shout out your LCS. So let's get right to it, boys and girls. Bear with me. Oh, You know what you guys are used to when we go live, and why it shouldn't change? Because just closing in quarantine. This.
Bust it. Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
Somebody show us something. Hold on and get some, boys.
That is why they gonna be.
And by the way, you guys will be getting a cannonball really soon. Not this week, but next week. I got a Marvel scoop that we're working on. So news has been pretty tight recently. I want to share. I won't share with you, but basically, I got a message from one of my inside sources that even the Marvel staffers are going crazy. They have nothing to talk about because they're all working from home. So let me tell you how our scoops typically work. Is they may not work directly for Kevin Feige, but if you're in the relative gravity of people within Marvel offices, you're going to hear stuff, and you're going to hear stuff during staff meetings or whatnot. And that's where these leaks and scoops come from. Right now, working from home is going to be very limited on the amount of information you can get. Just imagine you're at Marvel and you walk by somebody's office and something's on the wall or something's written on a piece of paper, and that's how scoops happen. I mean, besides, there's certain scoopers out there that are based strictly off of production notes. So basically, they subscribe to Production Weekly, and they always concerned about release dates and production schedules, and all that stuff is open to you. So I don't know how you can pay a Patreon for somebody who just subscribes to a Production Weekly website. But anywho, that's neither here nor there. Let me talk about the Pokes. Yeah, man, he's those Tiger, man. I swear to God, I'd be able to quarantine at home without any issue at all if one, there was new movies, and there was sports. Man, I tell you what, if there was NBA baseball season was all starting or all right now, I'd be happy. That's what I normally do. I just stay at home and watch sports. Okay, let's go off. Our friends at Aegis Comics Alaska, which if you guys follow him on Instagram, he's got a great Instagram page, some really cool stuff. They're open now. But not for sure for how long with Diamond cutting us off. You guys don't know, Diamond Distribution said after April 1st, there will be no more new comics. They're just going to ship whatever comics are in the warehouse. So I just read that DC is going to be still releasing comics on digital. I can neither sign off on that or poo-poo it. They still have to get people their books to read, but digital sales ultimately hurts comic shops, brick and mortar shops. Now, if there was some a way to incentivize that, saying if you're going to buy a digital copy, tell us what your LCS is, and whatever your sale you buy this digital copy, half the proceeds will go to your LCS or something like that. You know what I mean? But just saying, I understand writers and artists need to get paid, but guess what? Writers and artists aren't like musicians. They don't get paid for every album sale. Right? They have contracts. They're salary workers. I mean, some of them obviously are contractors where they work on a book here and that. But that goes back. They've been working on these books for like 2 or 3 months. Well, so I understand, they need to get paid, but LCS comic shops, their sole source of income are these weekly comics. And contrary to what you think, it is weekly comics where they get the bulk of their business. It's not back issue sales. We're going to get that in a minute because a lot of shops now are really having a ramp up selling back issues. I'm going to tell you some ways that you can do that. Shout out to Hella Comics and his hot ass wife who just did a video. I would say go or check out Hella Comics for his wife, and then tell Hella Comics never to show his face again. Just keep on showing the hottest wife. You know what I'm saying? So Aegis Comics, our friends in Alaska, they're doing curbside, online, and in shop with social distancing in effect. So that means they're limiting the amount of people that can come in at one time. And if you do go in a comic shop, stay 6 feet away from other people. Don't be all up on people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some comic shops, that's kind of hard because they're small, but you just wait for the other person to go. Let's see what else. I'm just going off of last week's video, what people want to talk about their LCS. Hold on. This is from Lon Espinoza. He says his LCS Comics Dungeon in Seattle is closed due to all essential businesses in the state are closed. And if you don't know, Seattle was one of the first epicenters of this because a assisted living care facility, basically what you would call an old folks home, was one of the first places to have an outbreak of them. I mean, it was horrible because, inside of they are all, compromised to get this. There was like 11 people died, and they were all senior citizens. They all contracted from one another, and that's when it really got serious. At least for healthcare people. I don't know about certain politicians who just, dude, Tampa, Florida, what are you doing? A mega church had like 400 people in church yesterday. Come on, man, stop it. If we don't stop this now, we're never going to get to flatten out the curve. Sacrifice a couple of weeks now so that we can live the rest of our summer as somewhat normalcy. Jesus Christ. I'm going to be, I ain't going to say nothing more about Florida, but CGC Comics is still open now. I don't know how much longer that's going to happen. Once the governor gets his head out of his ass and he actually says shelter in home, which is the federal mandate from the administration is to social distance. The states are the ones that are saying, like California has been pretty much shelter in place for a while now. Florida still hasn't done it yet, although they're one of the worst states right now. New Orleans also. Guess why? Florida had thousands and thousands of people there for spring break. And guess who else had thousands of people there for Mardi Gras? New Orleans. Now, New Orleans is one of the biggest hotspots right now because, well, back in February, they didn't think it was going to be this bad. So when they had Mardi Gras, now they're having tons and tons of cases of it. So be careful, man. Be careful. So basically, let me get back to this. Comics Dungeon in Seattle is closed due to all that. So they are accepting payment via PayPal or credit card. They also set up a GoFundMe page collecting for employee salary payments. So there you go. Go check out Comics Dungeons in Seattle. Google them. They got a GoFundMe page to help out their employees. So this is another way you can help out comic shops by helping out the people that they have to pay. I don't know how much you know about comic book businesses. It's not a huge profit margin. So when they're shut down for a week or two or a month, it really, really hurts their business. I'm just saying, if, don't think comic shops are all, glory and everything. It's a grind, man. You got to work at that job. The Grown Up Gamer says Jim and Dan's in West Alexandria is still open and offering personal home delivery for their pull list customers. So there you go. Jim and Dan's Comics in West Alexandria. I'm assuming he means West Alexandria, Virginia. But anyway, Google these places if you're not, and if you're in the live chat, also, say the name of the place that you're talking about. I'll try to keep up with it. JLS, King of Golden State. If you see somebody talk about it, put it in the live chat so I can highlight it as well. Al Picknell says Enterprise Comics in Keene, New Hampshire is doing curbside pickup appointment. And I'm pretty sure if you message them for back issues, they'll pick them up for you as well. So there you go. So far we have our friends at Aegis Comics in Alaska. We got Comics Dungeon in Seattle, and we have Jim and Dan's Comics in West Alexandria. I do believe that's, let me go into StreamYard, and I can highlight some of these so you guys can see them. There you go. Paradise Comics in Toronto, Canada, doing curbside. I haven't heard much about Wobbles is how this is being affected in Canada. Obviously, Canada is pretty spaced out besides the large metropolitan areas, Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, things like that, but you never know, man. You probably got it from us. Probably Americans went over the border. You guys should lock us out. Hello Comics says A1 Comics and SAC is currently offering direct shipping with a $10 flat rate for as many books as you want. There you go. See, man, people are really think. All right, let me continue on from the last video. Enterprise Comics in Keene, New Hampshire. Key Hunter Keith says his LCS is the Dragon's Lair, located in Lafayette or Fayetteville. Excuse me, I said Lafayette. Fayetteville, North Carolina is currently still open. They are offering 50% off on all graphic novels, hardcover to trade paperbacks, and 20% off CDC slabs. Boom, there you go, and some other sales, I think. You got some trade paperbacks there for reading while on my dying time, limited to 5 persons at the store at any given time. So there you go. The Dragon's Lair, located in Fayetteville, North Carolina, is still open. 50% off graphic novels and trade paperbacks, 20% off CDC slabs. Now that is something I can get down with. I may go slide up over there, man. Yeah, Roger, I agree. With no new comics coming, it's really going to hurt the LCSs. Like I was saying earlier, that's where comic shops get the majority of their business is new comic books. Sure, back issues every now and then, but for the majority, you get the largest influx of people in on Wednesday to buy new comic books. So, that's their bread and butter, The other thing that was interesting was how DC was not only hurting comic shops by releasing digital comics still, which I can't. It's kind of it hurts comic shops, but I understand DC still needs to do business as usual. What's really interesting is they were going to look into other distribution models, which is a horrible idea. If you don't know what caused the crash of the 90s, it was multiple distribution models, multiple distributors, and it was just the wild, wild west. You can't have multiple distribution models. It does not work. You know what it does is you as a comic shop owner, let's say DC has their own distributor, Marvel has their own distributor, Image has their own distributor. So now you as the comic shop owner, you have to go through all these different ordering systems and keep track of what you're ordering through what distributor, through where, through when, through how. Doesn't work. Diamond has been doing it really good. And this is hopefully once in a lifetime kind of thing that we're impacted this way, but I wouldn't look at different distribution models at all right now. Just stick to what Diamond has been doing. Hate them or love them, they at least been inconsistent and consistent throughout the years. After the 90s, Diamond kind of settled down the industry to make what it is right now. Contrary to what you believe, there is no bubble. Everything is fine and dandy the way the models work right now. Do not fuck with the distribution models. Do not, DC. That's how you're going to fuck. You already have a small market share as it is already. You want to disappear off the map altogether? I don't even talk about what TNT is doing, but what up to my cousin Jane Guy One? So JRK Comics says his is called The Comic Shop. You can't go wrong with that. It's in Spokane, Washington, doing curbside and have an eBay store that I'm guessing it would do more business on. So there you go. If you have a LCS, I already went through all the ones that were talked about in the previous video. If you have one that you want me to highlight in the video, please leave a comment below. If not, I'm going to tell you what my buddy is doing. The Big To Do is not open at all. But today, I talked to him yesterday. We're going to try to do something for him as a thank you to all the customers. And it's nothing of charge to you. He just wants to give back. So he's going to be, giving away some comics. So we're going to work on that. But what you can also do is help them out is go check out The Big To Do on Instagram. That's where he does majority of the social media on The Big To Do. He's got a pretty good following, 39, almost 4,000 followers. He is having 30% off all back issues. Go to his channel, his YouTube page or his Instagram page and check it out. 30% off all back issues, including wall books. And let me tell you right now, 30% off to his store is like 50% off in other stores because his prices are already the lowest in Southern California. I can say that without a doubt. I've been to most shops in Southern California. The Big To Do, Comics, Tunes, and Toys and Tussin, or Comics TNT, easily the lowest in back issues, easily the lowest at shows. So right now, you hit him up on Instagram. He's posting videos. He's basically saying, message him and tell him what you're looking for. And if he has it, he'll post it or he'll tell you what it is. So just send him a message saying, hey, I'm looking for this. I guarantee you he has most stuff. Don't ask for crazy shit like amazing. Well, he does have Amazing Fantasy 15, but I don't think those are for sale. But just hit him up, see what he's got. You can also hit him up on Facebook, Comics, Tunes, and Toys. There he is with that shit-eating grin, holding those two guys right in the middle. Mike's a good buddy of mine, so I'd love to see. He's always giving back to the community, man. At least 2 or 3 times in the past, Mike and I have donated to foster children. He's donated to the orphanage that we were assisting on. Mike is a great person, so he always gives back to the community. And at this time in need, let's give back to Mike. So he's giving him 30% off all his back issues. So go check him out. So Comics, Tunes, and Toys on Facebook. The Big To Do, that's how you say it. The Big To Do, like the Big To Do. The Big Ragu on Instagram. He's also on Twitter. So hit him up, message him. Don't call the shop because he's probably going to be overwhelmed. I think he's the only one working there right now. When he gets done with this, I talked to him earlier. We'll just see if we're going to, I'm going to try to help him out and see if we can do some type of online live sales, not an auction because that's too time consuming, but similar to what Torpedo Comics and some other guys have been doing on Instagram and Discovery Bay Comics does it on YouTube. I'm going to go into a shop and see if we can set up a bunch of letters and we'll throw books up there. The first one to say the letter, boom, you get that book. Not an auction, fixed price because Mike's comics are $4 to $10 anyway. They're pretty cheap, but he's got a good selection of wall books right now. So let me see if I can play the video. Oh, I can. Where's the audio? And if you want, actually check out my Instagram as well, Lords of Longbox TiVo14. And I also shared the video that he's talking about. So, all right, let me see if I can get this for you guys. Hold on. I think I may be able to share this. Hold on, guys. Anyway, I don't want to mess it up. Let me see. Who else have we got in here? Yeah, free comic book day is canceled. Yeah, Regs, I don't know. But let me see. I'm gonna actually here. For those who are on a desktop, try this out. This is, you can use Instagram on your desktop computer. There's a web-based version of it. Nobody ever uses it. They just use it on their phone. But that's the big to-do is Instagram right there. Click on that and you can see the videos for yourself. Click on them. I would share it, but I don't want to mess things up. So you can see there. Go check them out. 30% off all wall books, man. 30% off. That's pretty killer. All back issues. And I can tell you right now, if you're looking for runs in your X-Men, he's got Silver Age all the way up to modern, Avengers, Fantastic Four. He's got a ton of, it's a ton. You guys have seen the videos I posted. Pops Foster says I do believe, Jay's Comics is still open to Pops. Where is Jay's Comics located? I always see him posted, but I know he's doing curbside pickup as well. So, let's give back. So I wouldn't tell you not to buy digital comics, but I don't know if DC's doing the right thing by that, man, because you're really hurting comic book shops by selling your comics digitally. I thought we got over that like 10 years ago or 2007 or 2008 when people started debating if digital comics were going to take over that. Also, help out our friends that are doing that are online retailers, like our friends at Karis Comics. Go to kariscomics.com, use discount code of LOTLB, get 15% off anything in the Karis Comics exclusive. These are some of the dope ass exclusives you got right now. They got that dope Ghost Spider. You got the Immortal Hulk, that new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Death of Army of Darkness, David Nakayama, Mike Mayhew. All those are right now. They would be ramping up for WonderCon, which got canceled, which is the next big Comic-Con that's coming up, which was going to be a couple of weeks, I think. I know it was in April. I want to say maybe first or second week. It's typically right around the first weekend of April, right around there. So right now, they would be ramping up for that. They would have been at ECC, and then Karis Comics has one of their largest presence is at WonderCon. So if you can, they can't get all the people that they normally get and do the signings and sell their comics. So hit up our friends at Karis Comics, man. Use the discount code of LOTLB and you can get 15% off and help them at the same time. There's the link right there. That's some of the stuff they have. Use the discount code of LOTLB. Get 15% off. Our friends at the Geeky Swag Shop too. Make sure you help them out. They're an online retailer, but you can help them out as well. Go get yourself a New York Warriors shirt and use the discount code of LOTLB and get 15% off that. We talked with our friend. See, there you go. 3 Minute Auto is 3,000 miles away. I don't know why he isn't joining me in the live chat. I sent out an invitation to everybody. Selfish bastard. They got me rocking solo. Nothing ever happens good when I go solo. I normally get myself into trouble. Otto is in Connecticut. The big to-do is in California, and he still hooked him up with the killer deal. I don't want to tell you what it is because I'm pretty sure he wants to show it off for his YouTube channel, 3 Minute Basement. Go peep him out. So yeah, man, I don't know what other ways we can step up to help out comic book shops right now, but if you can help them out in the way you can, hit them up on their social medias, their phones or emails, whatever. Say, hey, what can you do to help out? I guarantee you, if they're not allowing you in that side of the store, they're doing something that allows you to buy comics from them. $50, $100, just get yourself a box full of comics and, hook it up. I know tons of people are doing eBay auctions or YouTube auctions right now. Help them out too, but I'm not going to say their lives depend on it like a comic shop does. So if you can, I don't know if Mike wants to do an auction. I've offered the services of Lords of Longbox if he wanted to do a YouTube auction, and he doesn't have time for that. He has 2 small children. He's got, auctions go on for 3 or 4 hours at a time. So I think the alternative may be we're going to figure out how we can do a sale like Discovery Bay does, like a Torpedo Comics does. We just put up a letter. We put a fixed price on it. If you want to buy it, you buy it. If not, go check out. Make sure you follow the Big To Do and Comics, Tunes, and Toys, and to see what they can offer you right now. I know Mike is probably there by himself, so hit him up. He's very don't just be an asshole, lowball everything. Just he's very good with his pricing. He can normally work with you and get you a good killer deal on some stuff. So this is my LCS. It's been my LCS for a long time. So I want to do whatever I can to support him. So if you have somebody, speak now, forever hold your peace, and you will get the power of the fully operational Death Star called Lords of the Long Box to help promote your channel, or excuse me, your comic shop. All 26 of you watching right now, which is not bad actually for a Monday afternoon. YouTube views are down a lot, unless you're hyping some kind of bullshit or fake news or some clickbait shit. That whatever YouTube channels are saying, breaking phase 5 is shut up. You're not. There's nothing coming out right now. What I'm getting, the next scoop I got is it's a major that it's a scoop of a new character coming, but it's just based off of a Disney Plus show. I mean, people are still, working. Kevin Feige, Greg Berlanti. It's just, the planning of anything big right now is hard to do. There's so much you can do over phone calls and email, because sometimes you need to meet people in person and talk about things and get things done. So I know James Gunn is working remotely. He's editing Suicide Squad 2 from his house. So, I mean, stuff is still being done, because one day things are going to get back to normal and things need to get, ramped back up. So I would imagine the first thing that's going to happen are production teams are going to get back to work. So Falcon Winter Soldier, things of that nature. This is where I'm critical of Disney and Marvel, or mainly Disney and Disney Plus and the launch of it. They didn't have it planned out well enough. The Mandalorian came out. Now we have Clone Wars, which comes out, it's not a major thing, but right after the Mandalorian ended, they should have had something queued up a month later to start immediately, like a Marvel show. Like it should have been the Mandalorian, and then 2-3 weeks later, a month later, boom, Falcon Winter Soldier. There should have been something queued up, but instead all these things were in production still. I mean, so it was running late. So that's a little down on their side. Nobody could have foresaw what was coming, and I would say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., move that shit up too. I mean, it's planned for the middle of 2020. Just let it out now. But I understand a lot of TV schedules that everything has already been made. They have a schedule for everything to come out. So, I mean, on a TV side, it's pretty normal, because, you watch it weekly anyway, once a week, it comes out. But all the, streaming channels and stuff like Netflix and Amazon Prime, you do that. Yeah, Black Widow, it's got a tough haul, man. Because if it comes out in July, I looked at the schedule yesterday for Black Widow. Pixar comes out in the end of June, and then what was that rock movie, the Disney film, the whatever Jungle Cruise book, that comes out at the middle, and that comes out July 24th. I remember that because it's my birthday, July 24th. I'll be turning 49 years old. Fucking A. That's depressing. Anyway, so you have Disney releases in June and July. My personal opinion, I don't think Black Widow can fit in that schedule. You are cannibalizing upon yourself. If you have the Pixar film is that movie Soul, which looks really good, by the way. It's got an end of June release, and then you have a July 24th. That's already a month apart right there for Disney properties. Where would you put Black Widow in there? So you have a new Disney film every 2 weeks? You got to let the cycle of the theater movie run at least a month before you cannibalize on yourself by giving yourself competition. So maybe push it back toward the end of summer is what I would think. Because I think Marvel is immune to that kind of stuff. But just because Marvel's immune to it doesn't mean Pixar and Jungle Cruise are not. So you don't want to add to the competition for yourself. So I'd be surprised if Black Widow came out in July. April 30th. It came out in June. April 30th, by the way, if you hear that date, that's what the administration gave as the social distancing guidelines to be extended to. So that means, obviously, per state is different. California, emails from my CEO and we're a hospital saying I don't see us going back to the office for a while, beyond April 30th, I think. So it's going to be a while. You know, don't listen to politicians listen to doctors, Dr. Fauci, and everything. Actually, there's a doctor in the live chat. I'll let you guys ask him anything you want, and if he's still in there, he'll answer it. But yeah, man. So go check out all your comic shops. I think Black Widow was cinema. Hey, if you need something to watch, I was gonna do a video review on it, but I'm just lazy, and since I'm live now, go see Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Holy crap, that is exciting. I won't lie. I saw it high as fuck on Saturday night, like 1 a.m. I loved it, man. I would say it's a great stoner comic book film. If you're a fan of Kevin Smith and all of his works, this film has every nod to every even Cop Out, even Jersey Girl, every film that he's ever made. And it's full, jam-packed, full of cameos of everybody who's been in his films, from Clerks to Dogma. And I don't want to give it away, but everything else. I mean, so basically it's making fun of, he's very self-deprecating in this, makes fun of his own movies, makes fun of himself, makes fun of his characters. And it's just a great nod to entire Kevin Smith's filmography, man. It's just absolutely, it's not highbrow at all, but it's a fun time, especially if you're a fan of Kevin Smith and comic books, because there's tons of comic book nods in there. And a great nod to Stan Lee. I will say that. So I will give it a CGC 8.5. Yeah, that's right. And right now it was released directly to Amazon Prime. So go check out Jay and Silent Bob reboot. It breaks the fourth wall. Really fun things. I've always been a fan of Kevin Smith. I rented Clerks on VHS when it first came out, and ever since then I've been hooked on it. Mallrats is probably my favorite Kevin Smith movie because that's hardcore comic books right there. The whole speech, the whole talk they have about Lois Lane would never be able to have Superman's baby because her human vagina couldn't handle the semen of Superman. Yes, those are the kind of talks that they had on Mallrats, which was great. I love that, by the way. Yeah. So go check it out. Right now, obviously watching Tiger King, but it's only 7 episodes long. You got to pace yourself. Finish it in one day. What are you going to watch? What I recommend you watch, if you like great dialogue, go watch The West Wing again. All 6, 7 seasons of it. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love like politics and courtroom drama. So The West Wing is one of the better ones, or one of the early Aaron Sorkin created TV shows. Obviously, he did a lot of other things when he moved on, like what's that called? The one about the network on HBO. That was great too. But great dialogue if you know what Aaron Sorkin does. So that's big. The Wire, if you've been watching that. I'm going to be watching, as soon as I finish this, I'm going to start watching Outsiders. Is it called The Outsiders? It's on HBO. Yeah, I'm going to watch that too. That's one thing I haven't finished yet, Rag, is Lock and Key. That's what I got to finish. Right when Lock and Key came out, I was binging. I was finishing out some other stuff and never got to it. It was okay. But I was like, man, all right, I'll get to it. I'm only on like episode 2 or 3, but I'll finish it. I know I'm lazy. So I'm trying to find other things to binge watch since I have no damn sports. Castle Hills recommends you catch up and binge watch his videos. That's right, boys and girls. One of the best voices on YouTube. Speaking of which, I have to do a top 50 comics because Comic Crypto Castle Hills tagged me. So I'm going to be doing that maybe today. It depends on how long it takes me to find 50 raw. I'm going to do top 50 raw books in my collection because last time I did the top 50, most of them were slabs. And you know what? I'm just going to do raw books because I'd be surprised how many raw books that I have that are thinking, yeah, but they're pretty good. Also watch Superman Red Sun, which is available on digital right now. That's pretty good. Bloodshot was much better than people give it credit for. The critics are pretty bad, raw on it, but I think now that you watch it at home, you'll appreciate it. It's a pretty fun time. I still have to watch Onward. I want to watch The Hunt. So I've been kind of pacing myself because I know there's not much stuff to watch. So if I know I'm going to be not being able to see new movies in sports till at least April 30th, I got to pace myself, man. I can't look at all my hair. My hair has never been this long, man. I'm normally faded up, light, tight, and high and tight. You know what I mean? But No barber shops open, no nail salons open. Oof, you girls are gonna be looking a mess, man. You can't get your hair done, your nails did. Oof. Yeah, man, that's a big one too. Is you know how much money Vegas is losing right now on gambling? All casinos, it's like a ghost town of Vegas. There was a photographer who took shots of the city. If you look in New York City, look at Times Square. It's kind of crazy. It's nobody's there. But imagine March Madness not going on. The amount of gambling that happens during March Madness, and right now NBA. I mean, just revenue in general of the casinos, but the sports books, man, they're getting hit hard right now. So I don't know how they're doing it, man. Can you just Vegas is a town built on the hospitality business. Everybody you know that works there works at least 2 jobs: cleaning rooms, cooking food, cleaning the whatever, blackjack dealers, everything, man. It's a huge city that's built mainly on hospitality jobs. I mean, everything from blackjack dealers, waiters, bartenders, food servers, cooks, chefs, bus boys, all the maid. Imagine just the maid service in one hotel and how many people work there. Now multiply that by, I don't know, 100. That's crazy. So you can't even gamble. And we know Otto is a degenerate gambler, so I don't know what he's doing. He's probably betting on dog races or some crazy shit. All right, guys. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to post another music mix. I don't going to get a ton of views, but you know, it gives you something to listen to while you're stuck at home. I got an old school electro b-boy hip hop mix I'm going to post up. All my mixes are all old school. I don't know why I even say it. It's like a oxymoron. I don't do any of that new stuff. I have gone on for 45 minutes now. That's amazing how I can just talk to myself for 45 minutes. Hospitality and prostitution. I do believe those are the same thing, JLS Comics. I'm going to tell you something I used to like to do when in Vegas. For those who've been to Vegas, you know, if you walk down the street, you'll get quite a few little business cards of women of questionable ilk and what they can do for you. Well, I like to collect them all. I will walk up and down the street, and every time one of those guys will give me one, I will take them all. And then what I like to do is I like to spread them throughout my hotel room when I leave, just so the cleaning lady thinks it's weird. But I do leave her a $10 tip, though, so that it's just something fun I like to collect. Or I bring them back to work and leave them in the bathroom at work. All right, so back to before we leave, we were talking about if your comic shop is still open, what are they doing to help out their customers and what you can do? Are they offering curbside pickup? Are they offering, are they shipping it to you? Are they offering any sales right now? I could tell you, my friends at Comic Tunes and Toys in Tustin, California, go check them out. The Big To Do on Instagram are having a 30% sale off all back issues, everything in the bin, everything on the wall, everything. 30% off. So make sure you hit them up, The Big To Do on Instagram or Comics, Tunes, and Toys Facebook page. Send him a message. Click on that send message button right there. And if you check out his Instagram videos, he's posting videos on what he has. If you need anything or are looking for anything, you send him a message, and I would say 9 out of 10 times he's probably got it, as long as it's not something super duper rare, but you never know. I know they have quite a few. They have a huge selection of Silver Age, Bronze Age, and all kinds of good stuff. So go check out The Big To Do on Instagram. He's posting videos daily. Maybe later this weekend or sometime, maybe we'll figure out something about, helping Mike out with doing an online sale on YouTube. But, he's got 4,000 followers on Instagram. So, but if we can, expand his market and, to show it on YouTube, we'll help him out as much as we can. And there's quite a few other shops that are available. So like I said, leave a comment in the live chat or once the video posts, and then tell us about your comic shop. And then next time we go live, which is Wednesday, we'll talk about it. So we're trying to spread the good news, and we're not trying to sell mystery boxes at a time like this. It's fucking stupid. Anyway, so tomorrow we're going to have the coverprice.com top 10 list. And then Wednesday, we got part 2 of our DC long-term spec list. So the other week, if you missed it, Punchline was on that DC is actually going to be using Punchline in an upcoming movie. So that Punchline book may have more legs than you think. So believe it or not, we got a part 2 on Wednesday. So tomorrow, we're going to do the Cover Price top 10, looking at the sales data from last week. And then next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, we got a Marvel long-term spec list, something coming through the Disney Plus world. So it's been talked about in the past, but we finally got a list of characters they don't want to use for this Disney Plus show. So I'm waiting on that, and then we're going to go from there. Yes, sir. Comics TNT in Tustin, California. Hit them up on Facebook. They are pretty quick to reply on their social media. So if you're looking for anything, hit them up right now. 30% off all back issues. Pretty good deal. So yeah, man, that's 1:30 right now. That's it, man. I was going to come on here and do a review, and I was like, you know what? I'm just, unless I have something, it's right now the views are down, and I just, if I need to come on live, it's to announce something or to test something. So right now I'm just trying to, we were planning on doing this, but then everybody kind of get stuck doing their own thing. And so I just wanted to bring that up since I talked to the Big To Do yesterday. He called me about some stuff, and then he's made that announcement on Instagram today. 30% off right now. They are closed because of us. LA County came out and said it too, that they are no longer allowing comic shops to do curbside pickup because, to be honest with you, that doesn't solve anything. Somebody is handing you a book of comics 2 feet away from you. How the fuck is that social distancing? So especially in right now where we're trying to get through the curb. So Mike is firmly following those guidelines and not doing any type of curbside pickup, but they can ship stuff to you. So hit them up, 30% off. And then, we'll see what happens. Yeah, the Beastie Boys documentary. Jeff, if you're looking for good Beastie Boys stuff, get the book that came out last year. That's a great book. That's done by the Beastie Boys. So, I've watched the Beastie Boys did a tour that was part of that book, and they told some great stories in that. It was a documentary in itself. And it was with Mixmaster Mike, who was DJing at the same. It was almost like a show. So Mixmaster Mike was DJing, and they would do interludes, and they would read like passages from the book, and they would actually get into it more in depth. It was really entertaining. There's some of them on YouTube where people filmed it. Because I know they did a show in San Francisco, LA, New York, and some other places. Part of their book tour they did. And it was really entertaining. They even got DJ Mixmaster Mike to like DJ while they were talking about it. It's pretty cool. That's right. Mixmaster Mike, half Pinoy from the Yay area, Invisible Scratch Pickles in the house. No, I don't know. The best DJs in the world came from the Bay Area. Just saying. Not New York. When Invisible Scratch Pickles went to New York and destroyed the Executioners, and that's when Qbert, Mixmaster Mike, and Shortcut were not to be trifled with. Not to be trifled with. All right. I think that's it, man. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Cover Price top 10 back issues of the week. As I said earlier, after this video post, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that shit. But more importantly, comment on the video and tell if you have your LCS that's doing anything that open and how you can help. So leave it in the comments below, the name of your comic shop, where it's located, and how to get a hold of them if they're on social media or if their phone number. If sometimes YouTube will block if an email address, but just say their name and what city they're located and how people can get a hold of them. And then that way we can help them out. Hopefully we just got a few more weeks of this and we can get through it, boys and girls. All right. So until next time, boys and girls, which is tomorrow, you're digging in them long boxes.
Bust it. Shake and bake and pull it back.